I've actually been out, and when I was walking with my walker, people would say, "Oh, what happened? Did you have a stroke?" No, I have MSA. Oh, what's that? You know, is that MS? You know, everybody always says, "Is it MS?" No, it's not MS. They'll say, "Oh, is it Parkinson's?" I said, "No, it's not Parkinson's. But it's it's sort of like Parkinson's. It has Parkinson's and it's plus."
I was starting to have things happen to me that first I thought was just old age, but it got to be more than just old age, and so I started looking up more closely because I was in good health. Going to the doctor for different things was new, and once I decided there was something going on, it took me 6 years to finally get a diagnosis.
Once I was diagnosed with MSA, I went back to my PCP, and he says, "What did the neurologist say?" He says, "Well, I have multiple system atrophy." He says, "What's that?"
Multiple system atrophy is one of really a group of neurodegenerative diseases. These are diseases that involve some deterioration of cells within the brain, causing a variety of neurological symptoms.
Perfect. I just need a little bit of help. We all hear about how we look okay, but this guy compares it to like a computer. Your body might look okay, but the software inside is so screwed up, nothing's working right.
Ultimately, anything that our body does automatically is malfunctioning. Our blood pressure is erratic. The digestive system doesn't work properly. My heart rate dipped very low, caused me to need a pacemaker.
Once I officially thought something was wrong, although a lot of doctors thought it was in my head, at first they were thinking I had MS. So they sent me for MRIs. They came back negative, which again is usually the case.
I've probably seen 25 doctors. Hematologists, neurologists, psychiatrists, infectious disease, the doubt from the doctors that it must be in your head. It was very, very discouraging.
Multiple system atrophy is a little less well known. We need to do a better job of educating other neurologists and other physicians to recognize when someone who has been initially diagnosed with a disease such as Parkinson's is beginning to deviate from the expected progression of disease and consult a specialist so that appropriate diagnosis can be made.
I remember saying to a family member when I was finally diagnosed that I was relieved, and they said, "Now that's crazy, that you're relieved, that you have this horrible disease." But it didn't feel crazy to me because it somehow made some sense.
I was in the investment world for, say, 30 years. I had traveled throughout the country and gave over 100 speeches. I was finding it more difficult to talk. I'd have a word in my head that I wanted to say, and I'm standing up there and it's like, I can't get it out, so I would have to say it a different way. I wasn't able physically to keep up with rushing from meeting to meeting and through airports. When I did get back in the office, I was having trouble staying awake. At that point, I didn't realize it was going to have any impact on my work. But over the course of 2010, things got substantially worse. Some of my doctors thought I should quit work, and I was kind of like, well, why? You know, things are going pretty good. And
I started a business actually because of my daughter. She was 17 when she died of juvenile Huntington's. There were no homes that really had any experience with Huntington's disease, and I wanted to have a business where the owner of that business would go to any extent to take care of their child, where they would feel comfortable, where they would know that their child was safe, because that's what I wanted and needed when my daughter was sick. And I accomplished that. And MSA took that. And I hate it for that reason.
Once your core overheats, all of your organs start shutting down. Your heart has to work harder. Everything has to work harder when you don't cool. And with us, it happens much quicker. I had a couple goals since I'd been switched from one world to another, and that was to bring awareness to MSA and to bring funding, because people have faced financial hardship. They're in need of very expensive equipment. Like everything, it takes money. Sometimes the doctors have to prescribe the number 2 medication for it to be approved. Certain pieces of durable medical equipment that are very helpful to individuals, insurance companies won't even cover, so they do without.
The MSA Charities Loaner Closet is a place where people can go to try to find equipment that they cannot get through their insurances, or they don't have funding to buy equipment, and possibly they have it at the MSA Loaner Closet. Just if it could be used by another person that has this disease, what better place for it to go? This disease is so devastating, and it will take your body, and the lengths that it takes to keep going. And we must fight this, and we must find what's causing this disease. We must.